Will Trump curb export of critical U.S. software to China? In reaction to a new step by Beijing in the ongoing trade conflict, policy talks and public threats from the administration indicate that the likelihood of the current U.S. government limiting exports of critical U.S. software to China is fast increasing. Beijing's export limits on rare earths have prompted the Trump administration to contemplate limiting software shipments to China. Although its implementation is still undetermined, this action is consistent with Trump's recent tariff threats. According to reports, the Trump administration is thinking about significantly raising trade hostilities with China. From computers to jet engines, a variety of software-powered exports to China are to be restricted. According to Reuters, this possible move is being considered as a form of retribution against Beijing's most recent round of export restrictions on rare earths, which could have an impact on the import of several goods. What does this mean for China? Even if some U.S. government officials want a less harsh approach, the administration is considering a dramatic escalation of its conflict with China, as evidenced by the discussion of these regulations, according to Reuters. In response to questions about software restrictions on China, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told reporters at the White House on Wednesday, "I will confirm that everything is on the table. These export controls, whether they apply to software engines or other items, will probably be implemented in cooperation with our G7 allies." The primary danger and counterattack. After China dramatically increased its export restrictions on rare earth elements materials essential for high-tech manufacturing, trade tensions significantly increased. In direct reprisal, President Donald Trump declared on social media that the United States will establish export controls on any and all critical software made by American companies, and put an additional 100% tariff on Chinese imports starting on November 1. The administration is currently debating this software control idea in great detail, which might mark a significant new front in the economic impasse. The suggested export limits for software. A broad policy that would limit international shipments of goods that either contain U.S. software or were made with U.S. software tools is allegedly being considered. According to sources, there is a huge potential scope. One official stated, "Everything imaginable is made with U.S. software, from consumer electronics like laptops and semiconductors to complex aerospace parts like jet engines. This might have an impact on a wide range of manufactured items." Mechanism. The Foreign Direct Product (FDP) rule, a potent instrument that was previously employed against Russia, is anticipated to be used in the controls. According to this rule, if a foreign product is a direct product of a certain U.S. technology or software, the U.S. government may prohibit its sale to that nation. Breadth. This would require non-U.S. producers to monitor and disclose the usage of American software in goods sent to China, giving the United States unparalleled extraterritorial control over global supply chains if fully implemented. Coordination. Everything is on the table, according to U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, and any such action would probably be coordinated with G7 allies. Although the policy is being actively debated and the threat is clear, it is unclear how it will be implemented. Negotiating leverage. According to many commentators, the proposal is essentially an attempt to exert extreme pressure before President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping are scheduled to meet later this month at the APEC summit in South Korea. The administration may announce the measures to gain leverage without immediately putting them into effect. Internal division. According to reports, there are differing views inside the U.S. government. While some officials advocate for a more measured approach, there are other discussions about more specific policy recommendations. Potential blowback. By interfering with international trade and raising compliance costs for American companies, experts have cautioned that such broad controls would be extraordinarily difficult to implement and could have a major negative impact on American industry, especially in the semiconductor and electronics sectors. China's reaction. China is against unilateral long-arm jurisdiction measures and would take resolute measures to protect its legitimate rights and interests if the U.S. moves forward, according to a Chinese embassy spokesperson, demonstrating Beijing's strong opposition to the U.S. measures. The action intensifies the trade battle, which has already been exacerbated by previously temporary U.S. export restrictions on specialized technology such as AI processors and chip design software, as well as shifting tariff rates. In conclusion, in direct response to China's limits on rare earths, the Trump administration is actively considering a major escalation and a widespread ban on vital U.S. software exports to China. The outcome of crucial diplomatic talks later this month will determine whether or not this step is ultimately implemented. But if it is, it will have a significant impact on global technology supply chains.